All right, man. Can you hear me?
Yep.
That's problems getting back on, bro.
Really?
It kicked me off. So I think that Billy is on here. Real quick for everybody's watching, I was having technical issues, but I'm back. This is you already know who this is. It's Kevin Chill Hurd. This is my brother Darrell Shake and Bake Sullins, my brother in martial arts, black belt, United States Karate Federation Hall of Fame.
And teammate abilities.
And teammate, we're gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
So we have Billy on. He's actually ready to come in. But before we bring him in, we want everybody to know this is a special interview for us. We grew up watching Billy Blanks as a martial artist. He was good friends with our instructor, the late great Grandmaster Ken Ferguson. So, and Darrell said that he was on the United States team in 1981 with Billy Blanks. So, hey, it took us. I had technical difficulties getting back in my own Zoom. Okay, now I got it. Hold on, let me get that straight. Just a second. Kick me off. Just a second.
The super producer's not coming on?
No.
Okay.
Everybody's watching. I was having technical issues. Hold on.
Good. I'm gonna talk about her again. I say I'm gonna on it once again. You went on.
Black belt. I have to go to Hall of Fame.
And teammate abilities.
And teammate, we're gonna talk about that. So we have Billy on. All right. Let me get this back on. All right. I had to take off the other YouTube channel that was playing. You ready to bring Billy on? As long as we don't do the Karate Creed.
Yeah. You know what? I got home and I said it. It was just the moment, man.
Hey, man, we're going to have to do a little special on the Karate Creed. But, hey, without further ado, guys, despite all of the drama, technical difficulties, let's bring on the man that everybody is waiting to see. All right, let's get him in the room. And it sounds like, Art, can you hear? Oh, he's waiting. He's getting connected. Asked him to unmute.
Hello, how you guys doing?
There we
What's
go.
Up, Billy? What's up, man?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome everybody to this special episode of Chill Talk. It is our great pleasure to introduce you the world-renowned, the celebrity, martial arts master, Taebo, creator, film star.
Well, thank you, man.
Entrepreneur, the one and only Billy Blanks. Darrell, let's give him the big
Billy Blanks in the house.
Thank you guys so much. Thank y'all. I'm glad to be here.
How's it going, sir?
Everything is well, man. I just got to say, God is good 24/7, right? So, I lean on him 24/7, and then I do my own chores that I need to do to help myself be able to lean on him, and I go for it.
All right. Well, I am the host of Chill Talk, Kevin Chill Hurd. It's my brother Darrell Shake and Bake Sullins. Both of us, you've been in contact with the both of us, both students of our instructor Ken Ferguson, and Darrell was a teammate of yours as well.
Yeah,
on the 1981 team.
I remember those days, boy. Good old days, man.
Yeah, man.
Now, real quick, because, and we're gonna, and hopefully we know we don't have you for a long time, but right off, and we saw the information that you left, the video that you left that played at Ken Ferguson's homegoing. Everybody loved it. Ken himself would have loved it. All of his students, we all loved it. Talk to us a little bit about Ken.
Well, the thing that I know, when I first met Ken, I met him at one of Al Jean Carillion tournaments, when that was before the United States team trials.
Yeah.
I got a chance to go to one of the tournaments in Cleveland, Ohio. And at the time I met him there, and when I met him there, he competed, and at that time he was a green belt, green belt or purple belt, one of the two. And, I watched him work out, and I know Ron Shaw was his instructor, and I know how good Ron Shaw is as a martial art teacher too. So I know that Ken was a pretty good athlete. The thing that I liked about Ken the most was, he was humble. He was a humble person. Even though he has super athletic ability, and sometimes it's hard to speak to martial art guys because they don't know how to drop. They don't know how to push away from the ego.
Right.
But when I met him, man, it was like, I'm me myself. He was kind of quiet. I was pretty quiet too. And so when we got to be friends, we just talked. We talked about martial arts. We talked about, how what do we think about making this United States team? And it was tough. I went to Cleveland. I think I was at the time 19 or 20 years old. And this was when I went there. I didn't even think I was good enough to go there, right? But I went there. I got in my pickup truck and drove down there. And when I drove down there, I saw all these guys walking in the college. I was like people like Tom the Puppet, Craig Clinton. I mean, every one of these martial art guys is supposed to be one of the top martial art guys in the world. People I was looking at in the magazines, Victor Moore, Walter Fagan, all these top guys. And then there was me and Ken, people didn't even think we should be there. They didn't even think we should be there. We just kind of tucked together and said, hey man, you started one end, I started the other end. And we did that. And I ended up winning the national title. And then I think Ken took second or third place in that competition. And then we ended up getting a chance to go to the team trials. And then when we got to the team trials, they put us in different rooms with each other, because we both came from almost the same area. So they took Ken, they put him in a room with a guy, and they put me in a room with another guy. And all we did was get up every morning and work out ourselves. And at the same time, I had a Chinese professor. His name was James Tan, that he always traveled with me. He was a philosopher. I mean, he was a psychologist too. So he would take me and Ken to the side. He would just say, hey man, what you guys got over most of these people is we had that mental control. And he said, that's what you guys need to work on the most. You guys are very good athletes, and sometimes athletic ability can overshine. You think in the right way. So he just took us to the side and kind of talked to us. People talk about hypnotism.
Right.
I just felt like he was talking to our hearts. He was telling us, you guys, even though you haven't been in this field fighting for a long period of time, you guys have the opportunity of a lifetime to make the United States karate team. Every day we got up, it's like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning in Long Beach, California. And we worked out. We went to the team trials. We fought every day. We talked every day. And we became close friends, man. We talked and we stayed in a room in South Africa together. We traveled together. And when we made that team, when we got to the team trials, I said, hey man, I think you'll have to put on the black belt.
Okay, now you know what I understand, because that's part of it's almost mythology around the Ken Ferguson dojo. I mean, we've heard that story from Kenny's side so many times. So how we heard it is he got there as a purple belt, which is almost unheard of.
Right.
And he says, man, Billy told me, he say, Ferg, man, you can't go in there with that purple belt on, man.
It did.
So tell me, and so you gave him. Tell us what happened.
So what happened is I said, hey man, you can't go in there with the purple belt, even though your skills are really good. Them instructors, judges can play. Well, you only a purple belt. What are you doing fighting in black belt? I said no. I said what you need to do, man. I said your skills are good enough. Your confidence is good enough. Let me just give you a black belt. You put it on and you go ahead and compete. Compete as a black belt. I don't think Ron will get upset. He knows you have good skills, and I just think it'd just be a good way for you to see where your level is, right? And he said, okay. So he tucked the black belt. He put it on, and we lined up. None of the instructors knew because they don't check. They don't go back and check in your black belt, right at that time. And so he got out there, and he started fighting. We fight. We met each other in the middle, and he ends up, I think, taking a second or third place, right? I won the division, and then I got a chance to go. We both got a chance to try out for the team, and from that point on, I said, "Hey, Ken, because at the time Ron still didn't promote him to black belt yet. Right? He was still a purple belt, green belt. I think maybe he might have got the brown belt.
Got the brown belt, maybe.
Right, yeah. Right. And I said, but still, you can't go to the team trials with a brown belt on because they're gonna be a lot of guys out there trying to keep me serious. There are a lot of rough guys. I think it had over 50, 60 guys trying out for that team. And
That's the ego thing that would have came in. Ain't no brown or purple belt gonna beat me.
Right. And I said, Ken, because he's tall too, right?
Yeah.
So I said, and plus he was thin. Most of these guys were big, right?
Yeah.
And I just said, hey, I think you should wear the black belt here too. And so he just, I gave him the black belt. He wore the black belt and went out there and just started whooping people.
Now, Darrell, how many times have you and I heard, Ken tell us that story about Billy giving him that black belt to put on?
Yeah, and I only did that because I knew his skills were good enough, and I knew his confidence was good enough because he was an athlete. Ken was an athlete, right? I think he played basketball, right? One of the two.
He did all kinds of sports for sure.
Right. So I just knew that the way judges work, they were not going to let him compete or let him even try for the United States team if he was a lower belt. So I said, man, put on the black belt and let's go for it. And he did. He went out there, man, proved himself, made the United States team. We traveled all over the world together. We went to France, we went to South Africa, went everywhere.
Now, hold on.
Go ahead, Darrell.
Hold on. That played a part with us because we heard that story.
Right.
Then we went to Ken like, hey, we need to be in black belt.
hey, I think we carried on that tradition.
Of
all ranks. Hey, Billy, as a matter of fact, we carried on that tradition because like when one of us would move up to another division, then that left another division. So like when Darrell left brown belt to go to black belt, me and Gino, we like, okay, we go in the brown belt.
So y'all took over the brown belt division while he took over the black belt division.
Took over That's right. And then we started.
I didn't know that, but I knew that I knew that he fought as a brown belt, as a black belt, right?
Brown belt as a black belt first.
Mm-hmm. Right. Right. And I said, well, Ken got he got some good students, and we all fighting on the United States karate team. And I did. It was kind of a thing that I used to do to my green black belts too. Is I said, hey, I think you qualified to fight in a different division. Let's put on this belt just for this, and then when you go back to the studio, you just put your other belt back on. Until you get the qualifications and learn your forms and do all that other stuff.
Hey, Darrell will agree that sometimes we'd get our black belt at the tournament.
Yeah,
like we'd be at the tournament, and Ferg would say, you feel like fighting black belt today?
See, I think that was good for a student.
Right.
I think the confidence of a student, what a teacher believes in a student.
Yeah.
That, to me, when somebody say, hey, I think you're good enough to fight as a black belt, that's telling me a lot from an instructor. That instructor believes that I'm good enough to fight. Or otherwise, he would not put me in the ring and put me up there to get hurt. And that's what I felt about Ken. I believe his skills were good enough, and I believe he trusts me enough to be able to put on that black belt and go for it, and he did. And I think he did the same thing with you guys. The same thing I did with my students. I just feel like they're working out with me all the time. You guys are sparring with them all the time. And
I
knew that you guys were qualified to get out there and fight with the best. And I think that's awesome. And most instructors wouldn't do that. Ego.
Well, we had to know our stuff.
Right. Well, you
definitely. And I think he might have did that on purpose.
Huh?
He might have did that on purpose because we all. Like I said, one progressed, somebody had to move in there, but we had to know our stuff, and he just wouldn't give it to us like that. We had to earn that sucker. And then when he said that, hey, you know what to do.
Yeah, it was time. Hey, Billy, when he asked me that I want to fight in black belt division, I had that same tournament. I had to fight Spider Kennedy, Morris Kennedy.
But see, that's good though. I think that was good.
Yeah,
because he thought his students were good enough. Why? You guys spar with him all the time.
Yeah.
That for me was great about being a martial arts instructor. My sparring partners are all my students.
Yeah.
So, I had some brown belts and black belts that could fight pretty good. And I would say, hey, I think you guys need to step it up and move up in a different division. When you come back to the dojo, you put on your belt, but eventually, like he did at tournaments, I would promote my students the same way. So I think you qualified to wear a black belt. You might have to work on your katas and technique, but you got your black belt. Let's go.
Well, Billy, one thing's for sure. We knew one thing. If we got in black belt division and we won, we knew we were never going back down to another division again.
But I don't think you can go back anyway. Even if you
that's right.
And you couldn't go back.
That's right.
And,
that was right.
It was a big step. That's a big step. And that's what I liked about Ken. he was always open, man, always open to, even though we were on the road, like he allowed me to use him, like when I was creating Taebo, right? He allowed me to say, hey man, put a Walkman in your ear. Let me see you try this. Let me see you try that. And he tried it, you know, and that kind of gave me incentive because, you know, if I felt like if somebody would, like a male would like to do something like this, then I think other males would do it. So him and the whole team, the whole United States team, I got an opportunity to start, you know, doing some little bitty workouts with the United States team just to give a chance to see what Taebo was at that time. And at that time, it wasn't called Taebo. It was called karate aerobics.
Okay.
Right. That's what it was called. It was called karate aerobics. And when I moved to California is when I changed the name.
Okay, now, and we definitely want to get into the creation of Taebo, but that team that you were talking about, Darrell, we looked up to those guys. That was Toki Hill, Domingo Llanos, Alberto Pena, those guys on that 75-10. That was a bad team right there. Yeah, that's really bad boys.
And, you know, I think I was the only person on that team that was a Korean stylist, right?
Right, I believe so.
Everybody on that team was either Japanese or Chinese Kempo, right?
And I want to go back just for a second because and as your fame, and we want to go back to Taebo, but as your fame from Taebo took hold over the world, everybody saw you, but we knew you as one of ours from our area, coming up, seeing you all the time when you were out of Erie, and just seeing you and your students all the time. A lot of people didn't know your actual martial arts background because the Taebo had gotten so big. Talk to a little bit about your martial arts training. How did you get into martial arts, and how did you get to your black belt and become the type of fighter that you became?
Well, you know, I think I started martial arts in 1963, right? At a youth center called the Martin Luther King Center in Erie, Pennsylvania. And the only reason why I got involved with that, because I have 10 brothers and 5 sisters, right? And I was the only brother that couldn't play sports. I was uncoordinated. I was shy. You know, at the same time, I had a learning disorder. And the learning disorder that I had at that time, people didn't really know anything about. It was dyslexia. You know, and having dyslexia was hard for me in school because it was hard for me to read. I would leave out words and I would leave out numbers and things like that. So I had a hard time in school. And I told my mom, I said, Mom, I want to take martial arts. And at the time, we couldn't afford it because we had a big family. But then I heard that they were building a youth center in our neighborhood. And once they got the youth center done, they were going to put karate in there. And I said, okay. And they ended up getting this youth center finished. And I went down to the youth center. And at the time, I was in a little bitty gang. You know how you back in those days, I was in this gang, man. You know, I used to get run. Serious. I used to get run home from school all the time, right? So I got tired of getting run home from school. So I buddied up with a bunch of kids my age. And you know, we were called the West Side Street Gang, and then you have 3rd Street Gang, Chestnut Street Gang, stuff like that. And we all went down to the youth center, and this guy, it was a Korean guy and a black gentleman here. He just came back from Vietnam, right? He was in the gym. He was practicing all his martial arts moves, and they saw us looking in the door. And man, inside my heart, I want to take karate so bad, but I know these guys were thinking martial arts were for wimps, right? Because when the instructor came over, he said, hey, you guys want to take karate? And I wanted to say really bad, I wanted to take it, but I couldn't because I knew the gang would beat me up, right? So all the kids in the game, well, that's for girls. Nobody want to take that stuff. And I wanted to say so bad. And so he says, okay, well, you guys go ahead. So we left, right? And as soon as we left, they went to our direction to go home. I went to my direction to go home. I ran back to the youth center. When I went back to the youth center, the guy saw me. He said, hey, you want to take karate? I said, yeah. He said, I'll bet you $5 you don't stick it out. And I go, I bet you $5 I will. And, you know, I've been taking martial arts now for close to 50 years, right?
Yeah.
But it started there at the youth center. And then at the youth center, I started to see that martial arts gave me an insight. I got a chance to see out of my own eyes that I could be successful at something, you know, because in school, I wasn't doing really well. And with martial arts, I started getting better and better.
Well, and as people knew, as we certainly knew long before Taebo, because we came up, Darrell and I and the rest of our guys came up watching you. And to say that you were a good martial artist is an understatement, because you were doing, Darrell knows, we saw you, you were doing movie looking stuff actually in the karate tournaments.
Well, man, that was a thing that I always practiced, though. My goal was, I really didn't care about winning. All I wanted to do was be able to grab the audience I want to be able to, if I can make the audience stand up and go, wow, woo, you know. I mean, I used to watch martial arts movies. I'm pretty sure you guys watch them all the time too. And I said, man, I'm gonna do some of those things that people do in the martial arts movies. So I used to take, lead. You know the lead. You know what lead is, right?
Yeah.
Well, I used to take a shoe print and I should put it in the ground. And I used to go in the house and take some lead, put it in a skillet, and bring it outside and pour it inside of the shoe mold. And I used to put it in the bottom of my shoes. I did everything I could do to be able to jump high. Because I always want to do jump kicks, right?
Don't let me forget now. You go ahead, Kevin.
Oh yeah, you already know we going there, Darrell.
Oh, we going there. Ladies and gentlemen.
I always wanted to practice jump kicks, man. And, and I did all kinds of stuff. Go ahead.
Okay, here's what I'm going to say. And I believe it was at Cleveland State. Cleveland State or Tri-C or someplace.
Man, it was more than just that place.
Yeah.
Hold on, Darrell. But just let me say this. Because when we talk about you, there's one on the people think it's a myth. That when they talk about your athletics, everybody, whenever the name Billy Blanks comes up about you as a fighter in the area, they all have one story about your athletics. And that's, we saw Billy Blanks jump up and kick a basketball net.
Yeah, man.
I couldn't believe that.
I used to practice jumping up, kicking the side of our roof on the house. And so every day I used to practice doing it. And then I took a balloon one day and I put it as high as the rim, right? And I took a safety pin and I put it in my toenail and I did a jump kick. Jumped and kicked 10 feet, man. That right from that day forth, I started, just for sometimes I try to make people nervous before I get ready to fight them.
Oh, we know.
I used to jump up in there and go, I used to practice jump on, I know people in those 8-9 feet high, but I felt like if I can jump over your head, I catch you coming with something, catch you with a kick.
Now,
so
Darrell,
I used to practice jump kick. That was one thing I love to do.
Darrell, when you first saw that, and we would tell people about it, they were like, no, man, you lying. Yeah. That did not happen.
Yeah, I got pictures. I got to send y'all some pictures of me doing it. Kicking the basketball hoop. I'm kicking the basketball hoop. My mouth
was open. I'm like, did he just do what I thought he did? Because who thinks of doing that?
Well, man, I should practice that. Also, too, I used to play basketball, right? I learned how to play basketball because of karate. And I used to go in and pin a guy going for a layup. I used to take my foot and pin it on the bankboard.
Wow.
No, I used to do stuff like that. I used to practice jump kicks. I used to really practice hard jump kicks. That was one thing I loved to do because at that time, I didn't have really good flexibility. I couldn't even touch my toes, right? And then eventually I quit fighting for like a year. And all I did was work on stretching. All I did was stretch. I wanted to be able to get my splits. I said, one day I'm going to stretch. So I stretched 5-6 hours a day. I used to stretch with Ken. We used to stretch and stretch. And man, when we going to kick? We ain't kicking right now. We're going to stretch, right? Stretch and do push-ups. That's what we did, right? And then eventually I got my split where I can kick high. So then I started fighting back in competition again. I kind of got away from competition for like 1 year. Stepped away and just practiced doing 1,000 push-ups, 1,000 sit-ups, and got my split.
Well, because obviously you were always, every time we saw you were very athletic. Is that something that you really trained on being, or were you a naturally gifted athlete?
Oh, man, I trained every day. I should get up and be in my backyard. My mom used to think I was crazy. I should go get home from school, go in my backyard and just practice every day. I worked on footwork. I worked on jumping. I looked at Michael Jordan. I used to look at 3 things. I looked at like animals, some of the animals. I used to work snake. I used to look at the gazelle, think about how fast muscle twitch fiber they had. Mm-hmm. And I want to be able to get my muscles fiber that quick so I can be explosive. And then I looked at Michael Jordan and football players. I used to say, you know what? I want to be able to jug, I'm going to be able to jump, fake, do things like that and get martial art people. Because martial art people don't practice athletic things. They just practice martial arts. Mm-hmm. And my thing was I wanted to find the best athlete and kind of copy them and some of the things they do and then add it to my martial arts. And so we did that all the time. Footwork. I would practice footwork for 2-3 hours, just footwork. no techniques, just footwork. And then I would add to my footwork whatever technique and try to disguise it and make it be better and better and better. And then I got to the point where I got really pretty sufficient at it. And then that's what I did every day.
I want to tell you another technique that amazed us that we saw you do. And it was funny because, and I don't know if you remember this, it was at Al Jean tournament. It was at Forest. It was at the Mars Martial Arts Rating System National Championship. We were there, and I was on a brown belt team, and we were bad. Nobody could beat us. Everybody was afraid of us. And Al Jean didn't want to give us our trophy because we had qualified. He said, you need to fight somebody before you could get your trophy. So one of our teammates started talking a little foxy and said, we'll fight the brown belt. We'll fight the black belt team. And so Al Jean got on the mic and said, oh, we got a bunch of brown belts. Said they want to fight the black belt team. Okay. Now I was down to maybe fight a black belt team, but the black belt team that they put together to fight us was you, Ken Ferguson, James Cook, and it might have been Spider Kennedy.
Yeah, it was Spider Kennedy.
And Bill Hanna.
I'm like, okay, see, now we got a problem. So I start negotiating. I said, okay, this is what I'm offering. It's two people I'm not going to fight on that team. First of all, I don't want to fight anybody on that team. But who I'm not fighting is Ken Ferguson, because I don't want to fight my instructor, because he's not going to make first, it's disrespectful, and two, he'd beat me down. for just having disrespect.
No, man, he would beat you down.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I used to work out with him.
Hey, hey there, Billy. And I said the other person
knock your head off.
I said the other person I'm not fighting is Billy Blanks, because it's showtime, it's center stage, and what he's not gonna do is a cartwheel and kick me in my lip. So I had to fight Cook.
Or the scissors.
Or the scissors. Oh, the flying scissors.
Yeah.
So one of my boys, Danny Marzan, one of Al Jean's students, he came in. I had to fight Cook. Cook beat me 1-0. I'm happy with that. I'll take that any day of the week.
Yeah, that's
right. One of the best fighters on the planet, but 1-0, I'll take that any day.
Yeah.
Danny Marzan came in late. He said, "Who we fighting?" He said, "We fighting the black belt team." What? Who? Ken Ferguson. He like, what? Billy Blanks. Who? What? Spider Kennedy, James Cook, Bill Hanna. He say, okay, well, I want to fight Bill Hanna. And I said, well, we already picked who you fighting. And because you wasn't here when we picked, you got to fight Billy Blanks. And do you know that you did like a cartwheel, flying scissors, and bust his lip? And I said, and that's why I do not want to fight Billy Blanks.
And at that time, we didn't have equipment, right?
We might have had the safety punches and
punches,
kicks.
Yeah.
Well, we did.
I think back then. So really quick before we move on, and we know we don't have you for a lot of time, but when did you develop like the flying scissors and the cartwheel kicks in regular tournaments?
1973. I fought in Buffalo, New York. I met a guy named Wally Slokey.
Oh, right? Wally was a bad dude.
Hey, the master of the flying scissors.
Yeah.
He was the guy. I fought a guy named Mr. Wong. His name is Team Fong Wong. I fought in his tournament. And I won the heavyweight division. And then I got a chance to fight for grand championship. And Wally Slokey was the defending champion. So at that time, I had won the overall. So he was gonna have to fight me, right? And Wally Slokey was somebody great. I respected him like you don't know what. And he said, well, I don't want to fight. He didn't fight in the competition. He didn't want to defend his title. So they automatically gave me the grand championship. So he said, hey, you want to do an exhibition? I said, sure, I'd love to do an exhibition fight, right? And he took me in the hallway before we did exhibition. Before the whole day began, right? He took me in the hallway and he said, hey, I'm going to show you some new moves. He showed me the flying scissors, right? And he would do it to the waist. He would jump up and scissor you by the waist. And I said, okay, he showed me how to do the technique. I kept practicing and practicing. In that same tournament, at that nighttime finals, I jumped up and scissored him by his neck, right? He got so mad, man. He got mad. He got really mad. And he tried to hurt me, kick me in my throat, right? Kicked me in my throat. And I was like, wow, man. At the time, I think I was 22 years old, something like that. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna come back one day and I'm gonna meet this guy, because I mean I was just new, you know. And so I started training, flying scissors, all my kicks, all the punches. I started training that stuff over and over. And I would take all these people's pictures and I would put them on the wall in my basement. I had all these pictures on the wall. I had Wally Slokey. You know who else picture I had on the wall? Ron Shaw. I had his picture. Ron Shaw had Ron Shaw. James Cook had his picture on the wall. Bill Wallace. All these people that I wanted to be just as good as. And I want, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they had something that I wanted to put in my repertoire, so I could have all 10 of these guys inside of me, plus my own style. That's what I did every day. I would go in the basement. I would look at each one of these fighters and try to copy what they do, but also do my own thing. And I worked and worked and worked. And that's how I became the martial artist. I became,
a fantastic, fantastic martial artist. And, you know, and Darrell knows Wally Slokey. We know Wally Slokey, one of the master Canadian fighter, one of the masters of that flying scissors technique.
Yeah. So, kick. He was like the first person who did splits.
Right. Right.
He taught Bill Wallace how to do split. Did you know that?
Oh, is that right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he taught Bill Wallace how to do splits.
Okay.
I know I saw Bill Wallace almost kick Darrell in the face.
Yeah, he
at
did.
Battle of Atlanta.
Battle of
Darrell
Atlanta.
was talking some smack.
You did it. Did you do exhibition with him?
We weren't even in the tournament.
Was over. And we were just chilling. He came out because they came out with the new Century Karate Gis. So he was trying on the pants. And I'm like this, oh, you ready to fight now? And he was like this, wham, threw that kick. I
was like, woo, Darrell, you almost caught a bad one.
But you know
Bill
what?
Wallace.
It was at that point, he showed me. He said, look, your kicks have to come from the knee. And that's what I started working on from then. And I had a double kick. I used to put guys out with it.
Yeah, I remember.
It was, I think it was one of your students too.
I remember.
Because I remember you saying, he said, it's Ken Ferguson's student, he can kick.
No, because that was because Ken really wasn't that flexible.
Right.
He was not. That is true.
Right.
No, he wasn't really that flexible. He could, man, he would, if he hit you, he'd knock your head off.
Oh, my goodness.
Serious. He was on there.
And you talk about, you being influenced by all, and certainly Ron Shaw, that's our instructor's instructor. So, we've seen Ron Shaw spar with him, phenomenal all around martial artists.
That guy was like, serious
fighter, kata, weapons kata.
He was amazing to me. Ron Shaw was amazing to me.
Right.
And I
wanted to say, go ahead, Billy.
I always wanted to compete against him. Only competed against, we fought Dick twice,
Right.
And always on, because he was somebody who made you want to always rise up.
Right. And I was going to tell Darrell will laugh at this, because one of our other brothers came up with this black belt, one of our brothers, Melvin Brown. Whenever we would spar, he would be jumping up and down, and he'd say, I'm Billy Blanks. I'm Billy Blanks. I'm a fly today. I'm a fly.
Man, I think that's so cool. I think that's so cool, because you never know what people are saying about you,
Right.
And when you hear stuff like that, it's like, that's what I used to say about people too. I said, man, I want to be like that person. You don't hear that in martial arts anymore. You don't hear, you don't hear that from kids nowadays. There's nobody out there that gives you that incentive. You know what I mean?
Right.
I can tell you, Billy, for sure. Naturally, Ken Ferguson, Ron Shaw, and there's a number of other guys that came up through the ranks through the years that really, I'm talking about Kenny's students that inspired us. And we used to watch, and Kevin and Melvin really took a lot of the techniques that we saw, and we developed, and we tried different things, and we developed some other stuff, man. And that carried me. Right. I mean, all over the country. And I fought in Japan, man. They ain't never seen some of that stuff.
You went to the with the United States team, right?
I went with the 81 and 82 teams, in Caracas, Venezuela.
Right. I know that. I was there with you there.
And the World Games when they had in Santa Clara.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Those were awesome tournaments, man.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And I just wanted people to know when they see this that, you know, they know you from the Taebo, but I just wanted people to know that, you know, we saw you, Billy. We studied you. We took your techniques. We grew up with you, but we took it and we stole all your good techniques.
We stole it. Woo. Hey, and let me tell you, when we stole it, we didn't give you no credit.
No, man, you guys
that was
cool.
something.
It's like truly a blessing, man. I wish I could have talked to Kim, you know.
Yeah, that man, that is, and real quick again, Ken, that because now Ken and Darrell knows this. Ken didn't talk to a lot of people in the martial arts world. I mean, you know, he his students, his family, but in the martial arts, he had very few people that he actually considered friends. You, right. Craig Clinton, and Bill Hanna later on. But I think he just talked to Craig Clinton, James Cook, but really you and Craig Clinton. I think he just talked to Craig because Craig will just make you talk to him. Craig a little psycho sometimes.
You're right. He used to come down. He came out to California a couple of times, you know.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Come out to California a couple of times.
So what was it about you guys that had that type of friendship with you and Ken Ferguson? What do you think it was? Was it the United States team, 75, or the same area?
It was before the United States team. It was like when I was going to Al Jean's tournaments and he would come up to Erie, Pennsylvania, you know, and then I think I met Ken the first time I fought Ron Shaw. I was like 18 years old, right? And it was at Kent State University.
Mm-hmm.
And I fought in competition, then we kind of talked there, right? And then when it came to the national, the AAU nationals, I got a chance to talk to him there. And he used to just come over to me and say, "Hey man, what do you think it is?" And I used to say stuff, you know, "Hey, stay hard work, stay focused." And you know, you see somebody, you know, they're good. I used to go watch because he's fighting the brown belt division. I used to go watch. I said, "Man, this dude gonna be an awesome black belt when he get ready, when he come up, right?" So I used to go over and talk to him and say, "Hey, keep doing what you're doing, man. Keep training, get your flexibility." I used to tell him you need to stretch all the time.
He didn't listen.
No, but I used to tell him all the time, man, you need to stretch. So you got that long reach, you can do all this, but you need to stretch and get.
But he could kick though.
You know,
he could kick.
Yeah, he could kick.
It'd be some hard old stiff hard kicks.
You're right, stiff kicks, man.
Them tree trunk kicks.
Right, and his legs weren't that big.
Yeah,
he threw it with commitment. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I just think with Kim, man, it was like we became friends as soon as we met each other. You know, I didn't, because most people won't even talk to you, right?
Right.
I want to go talk to people. Most people they look at you like you're stupid, right? But we just got along. We just started talking. Hey, man, we just started like two friends,
right?
Carrying conversation. You know, after come to Erie, Pennsylvania, come down to Cleveland, come here. You know, it was just like that. We became friends just like that.
Okay.
And when we made the United States karate team, we just hung out with each other throughout.
Okay, tell me about the cook, because I don't want to miss the good part, and you have to go tell it because everybody wants to know about the creation of Taebo. Where did it come from? Where did it go? Did you think that it would become this worldwide phenomena? Were you ready for all that notoriety? Talk to us about Taebo, where it came from and where it went.
Well, you know, I just know that when I got ready to retire from martial arts, because that's what I had been doing. You know, I had quit a job and I just spent time just being a fighter, traveling all over the country, fighting in the KA Karate Illustrated martial arts tournaments. I wanted to be the number one fighter in the country, so I started chasing after that. Then after I became the number one fighter, I said, you know, I wanted to box. I wanted to go from being that and going to boxing. And so I got a hold of Larry Holmes people. And they said, hey, you want to box? I said, sure, I want to box. And I had a friend in Boston. I moved to Boston. They said, hey, you want to box? I said, yeah, I really want to box, man. Find a gym that I can go to. I want to retire from karate. I want to get into boxing. And then at that time I was 27, you know, and he says, okay, no problem. We'll help you out, right? So this guy named Otto Pozzo said, hey, I got a friend that wants to box. And he told these people, beat him up. I don't think he wants to box. He think he wants to box. You know, he's a karate man. He wants to go to boxing. So when he says, okay, I want you to meet me at the gym on South Side. South Side Boston is really tough place, man. You gotta know to get in there and box in that place. You have to have some confidence, right? I didn't know. He just told me to drive. I got in my car. I drove down there, and I walked inside the place, and I said, hey, I'm Billy Blanks. My friend Olive Pozo's gonna meet me here, and he said he's gonna get me a boxing trainer. So I went there, and I got in the ring with this police officer. He was one of the Mountie police officers who was tough, right? And he told the guy before I got there, beat him up. Man, when I got in that ring with that guy, they didn't show me any boxing technique. They didn't put me in the ring with the guy, right? And they said, watch, they already had it all planned. He gonna kick. You gonna make him kick. And if he kicks, we're gonna tell him he can't take boxing. But I didn't kick. I went ahead and did it. And you know what happened? The guy beat me up. He beat the crap out of me, man. I had a headache for 7 days, right? But I'm serious. They said, watch. The guy said he won't come back. The guy said, be here at 4:00 and I want to see you shadow boxing and stuff like that. I said, okay. I got back, went back 7 days in a row. They were shocked. And then I started boxing. I won the Golden Glove Championship. I fought and won the Golden Glove title.
Oh.
And then I got a chance to fight for the regional where we are in our region. I won that. I won the champion of champions, AAU light heavyweight division. And then I got a chance to meet Marvin Hagler. They introduced me to Marvin Hagler. I said, hey,
marvelous.
Professional. And he said, I think you should stay amateur for a little bit. I said, but if I stay amateur, I'm gonna be 30 pretty soon, and people are gonna think I'm old, right? So at the time, Holyfield was coming up, and I felt like at the time I was a pretty good light heavyweight fighter. I think I could have been champion of the world, right? But I got around people in boxing, and then I started seeing things that I don't like seeing in boxing. So then I just said, you know what? So I quit. I mean, I felt like I could be a super fighter. I could have been a really good boxer, but I didn't like the background of behind boxing. So I got away from it. And then Chuck Merriman, you know Chuck Merriman,
sure,
coach. He called me up.
He was the coach.
He said, "Hey man, this guy is getting ready to start this karate league, and it's a professional tournament. He gonna bring like 80 fighters to this Bahamas island, like a Bruce Lee tournament. And this is gonna be the biggest payday that any martial art person ever got in history." So I said,
Billy, y'all went to Hans Island
in Bahamas, man. Serious. This guy, he was extraordinary. He was an oil man. He owned Atlantic Richfield Oil Company.
Okay.
So he loved martial arts. So he went around the country, went around the world trying to find the best fighters. And he flew us all to Bermuda. And he put us there for 1 week. And the tournament is gonna be on the Friday and Saturday. And people could party, you could do whatever you wanted to do, right? He gave us hotel rooms, gave us food, gave us everything. And everybody, all I did was run and train because I wanted to win this competition, right? And I ended up, Jeff Smith.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Came out of retirement. All these guys came out of retirement to fight and win that competition. But God gave it to me to win. I won it.
Represent.
I won that competition, man.
Up.
I won the competition, then I retired. And then once I retired, I was thinking as I was retiring, I want to be able to still do martial arts. And Darrell, I was like kind of curating Taebo along the time that we were on the team. I remember you knocking on our door 5 a.m, had your headset on. Yeah. Hey man, come on, work out. I'm like, man, it's 5 a.m. And I was planning the dare, man. I started off with calling it aerobics, and then eventually I became a bodyguard of Daisy Duke. Daisy Duke played. The TV show,
the television show,
yeah.
Dukes of Hazzard.
Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah, Dukes of Hazzard. I played Catherine Bach's bodyguard.
Okay.
Bodyguard for like almost 12 years.
Good work if you could get it.
Yeah. She said, Billy, you should move to California. So I ended up moving to California. When I moved to California, I started putting all this stuff together. I started teaching her, and then I went to an audition, Paula Abdul's audition. And they were looking for a karate guy and a boxer to hit a speed bag, but it wasn't speed bag. They were going to use a phone, and then you had to take the phone and you had to hit it with boxing gloves on. The phone would go back and forth, And right. So I went out for that audition, not knowing. And then I got in my car and came back to my studio. When I came back to my studio, I saw this lady get out of her car and walk into my studio. It was Paula Abdul.
Really?
Right? And I said to Paula, I said, I got this new workout. It's called aerobics. Let me teach you how to do some of it, because I know at that time she was having a hard time staying in shape. So I started teaching her how to do it. And then she started getting in super shape. And then eventually I started opening up in my studio, and I started teaching the class in my studio. And all these women started getting in super shape. So then I said, you know what? I need to change this name. I want to be able to help. I wanted to help people in fitness a different way. My goal was to be able to change people, the way people exercise. People always exercise from the outside in. My goal was to get people to exercise from the inside out. Get your spirit and get your life together from the inside. Then you can change your body, right? So what I did is I saw this guy on TV. His name was Frederick K.C. Price. He was a pastor.
Yeah, Pastor Price.
On TV, and I went, you know what? I want to go to that church and learn about faith. And so one of my students took me to the church, and I gave my life to Christ. And when I gave my life to Christ, I heard this guy say this. He said, one day, he said, for 28 years, God had been speaking to me. He said, one day somebody gonna walk in this building and they're gonna give me $1 million. I never seen $1 million in my life, but I felt like God was talking to me. Right? So I said, you know what? I'm gonna get that man $1 million one day. And so I started going to Bible study. And when I went to Bible on Tuesday night, went to Bible study, he started thinking a class on what does God think of fitness. So he started looking in the Bible and seeing what God thought about fitness. So I started writing down all these scriptures. And I said, you know what? I'm going to make Taebo. I'm going to create this thing, Taebo. And I wrote the word at the Bible study. I wrote that word, Taebo. I put it in my wallet, and I said, one day I'm going to use this word, right? And then I made it an acronym. T stands for take, A stands for action, E stands for execute, B stands for believe, O stands for overcome, right? So I took all of it and I put it all together, and I started putting all these karate moves and dance moves and putting them all together to music. Then I took it back and I introduced it to the world, and walked in a year later and said, Pastor, remember when you said somebody gonna walk in this church and give the church $1 million? I gave him an envelope when I walked off the stage, and when he opened it up, it was $1 million, right?
Wow.
And so I just took faith, man. I took my faith, and I started, like, if you came into my studio, you would see on the wall, walk by faith, not by sight. You would see on the stage, faith without work is dead. I had scriptures there all over my wall so I could see for myself, because I needed something at that time. I was looking, when you're looking for something, you're searching for something. Even though, you might have a car, you might have money, you might have this, but in the inside, I was unhappy as a person. But when I gave my life to Christ, that's when my life turned around. That's when things went like this. Who would ever think that I would create a word that's in the dictionary? Because at the time, I couldn't even read. I had dyslexia. Who'd ever think I would create that word? That was, God did. And God saw my heart, and God saw I could use this man. I'm going to use him to a point where he can help people change their life, right? And tell you, who would ever think type of video would sell 115 million copies?
Billy, when did you know that Taebo was a phenomenon? When did you know it was really, really big?
I knew Taebo was big when I started seeing people come to my studio. And I said, if I could get, this is what happened. Let me tell you what happened. The guy came to my studio. I mean, I was teaching classes and people started coming in the studio, and then people started changing their life, right? First person that came in, there was really a person I always wanted to see was Sinbad. Sinbad came in my studio and said, oh my God, this is good. I don't even want to go on vacation. This is fun. He started talking to people, and then everybody started coming in because they kept seeing results happen. People were changing. The attitudes were changing, bodies were changing. And so everybody started talking. And then I just said, one day I'll be able to make a video, right? And so this company came to me and said, hey, we want to invite you to our place. We want to see if you want to do a video. And I said, sure. So I went, me and my manager, we sat down in front of people. And you know what the guy said to me? He said, Billy, because you black and you in the Midwest, we don't think in the Midwest, white people will work out with you.
Wow.
So we're not going to do a video with you. I said, okay, no problem. So I went back to my studio, man. Just kept on doing what I was doing. Kept teaching. And eventually some guy came in. A white gentleman came into my studio, old guy, sit down, said, hey, can you capture the same spirit you have in this room? Could you get that on video? He didn't say kicks and punches. He talked about the energy and the spirit that was going on in the room. He said, could you get that on video? I said, sure. All you guys need to do is put a camera in the room and you'll get the atmosphere. So he said, you want to do a video? I said, I would love to do the video. I said, I don't have the money, but I got the skills. And he says, well, I don't have the money either. So I said, well, then how are we going to do a video? So he said, well, I'm going to put my house up for mortgage. So he put his house up for mortgage, and we shot 4 videos. We put those videos out, and the thing that I wanted to be able to know, if my thing was all about faith. I wanted to be able to see if faith was inside the videos. And if I could talk to the heart of people, if I was changing people from the inside out instead of this physical thing. It wasn't about being physical to me. It was about being able to take your spirit and change your life, right? Change your mindset, change everything you need to do to make yourself become a person that you need to be so you can do what you need to do to help yourself. And you know what? It did. It changed 115 million people's lives. And it made the guy who produced Taebo at that time, he became the most sought after producer in the world. And who'd ever think? Guys from the Midwest. They said I didn't work in the Midwest. And that's what they did. They tried to check and see if I would work in the Midwest. And to me, it was not about color. It was about if I could help people from the inside out. If people saw my color of my skin, then I shouldn't be doing it anyway. What I'm gonna do? Hide? I can't get away from being black. Do you know what I mean? Right. So I just felt like I got to go out there, work hard, keep working hard, and keep doing what I need to do to change people from the inside out. And it happened. And now, who'd ever think? I didn't think. I mean, who'd ever think it would sell that many videos? And who'd ever think that right now, 40 years later, because usually when things come out, they come out as a trend. But Taebo's still around. People love to do Taebo, man. Look, I just did a Geico commercial.
I was going to ask you about that. Really quick, I just want to say what's going on. A lot of the people that are watching, we got a lot of martial artists. My cousin Keith Collins, one of our black belt brothers, Gino McCulley, another one of your teammates on that 81-82 team, another one of Ken Ferguson's students, one of our guys. And I just want you to know that I tried out for that team that year, and Darrell laughing, but I didn't. I was up all night. I was pledging a fraternity. I wasn't practicing. And plus Speedy Wilson and Michael Sledge were in my division. So
well, you had a tough division.
I had a tough division, man.
Tough division. Speedy Wilson and Michael Sledge. Them boys are tough, man.
Hey, man, they took first and second in my division. I would have needed all of my sleep and training. Yeah, them was bad boys.
Them guys could. Whew.
Them New York boys. Yeah, but also I want to say what's up to my brother T'Challa Bengora, dedicated martial artist. So and book author. But yeah, so what's up to everybody watching? But Billy, the Geico commercial, man, I saw that. I'm like, he's back. Like,
and you know what? It was like my agent called me and said, hey, they want you to do a Geico commercial. You want to do it? I said, yeah, I'd love to do it. I said, what is the commercial about? It was all about Taebo. That's what they said. They wanted to do it. They wanted a Taebo instructor to come in and do it. I said, hey, I'll do it. I would love to go there and do it. And eventually I ended up shooting six Geico commercials. There's a new one coming out in April.
Wow.
Okay.
Looking forward to that coming out. I mean, I just that's a blessing. What I'm doing right now is I'm blessed, man. I'm just blessed to be able to do what I'm doing.
Hey, Billy, I mean, we knew you and when you blew up, I saw you on Oprah show doing all that stuff. And now there's a lot of Taebo type stuff out there, spin off from that. And I know you got some new stuff coming out. How did you get started as far as once you did the Taebo stuff, getting into other things? Because you movies and all that. And I'm asking because there's people coming behind you thinking that is far-fetched. They could never achieve that. And hearing your story, with me having a company, No Negations, we inspire people to get beyond hindrance. How did you push past that?
Well, I think the most important thing for a person who wants to go and be what God put in their heart to be, they got to believe that, know that it's there. I know when I first started off, my thing was all about you can work hard all you want, and you can do a lot of things, and things might not never happen, right? So I always say some people got a dream this big, right? But their faith is this big, and their belief is like this. And then when they try to go after something, what gets attacked first is what they believe in and their faith. Because what you what your challenge is, you don't have it in your hands yet, and that's the fake. I believe that I can do it. I know I can do it. Let me go after it. But what happens to people, detours starts to come up in their life, and then it starts to get setbacks, and then they quit and give up. So I always tell people, I think one of the most important things, if you have a dream, remember the dream that you have. And I always tell people, I told my mom, I want to be a world champion. First thing she said, boy, go somewhere and sit down. My mom couldn't see that. She couldn't see that dream, right? God gave that dream to me. God gave it to you guys. God gave you a dream. You said, I'm going to be on the United States karate team. Look, you made it. So I said, as a person who wants to be successful, you got to keep working hard. You just don't give up. Like now, I work hard every day, man. I get up every day. I always want to be creative. I get in the room, training. I don't sit down and try to be successful. You can't sit down and try to be successful because there's always people out there who want to be in your spot, right? And I believe that God gave this to me. God gave it to me. So if God gave it to me, he won't take it away. I just got to be willing enough to get up and say, okay, what am I going to be doing today? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this and go get it. You got to take on just like in fighting, you got to go get it. It's not going to come to you sitting here just waiting for things to happen. It's not going to happen. And I'm not saying that people have to be mean, aggressive. You just have to have knowledge, wisdom, and say, you know what? I'm going to stay focused on this and I'm going to get it. And you will. Right. That, I'm a Bible reader, right? I love the word of God. It says death and life is in the power of the tongue. What I speak out my mouth can come to life. So I watch what I say, because if I'm saying something that's negative and I'm trying to go for my dream and I'm always saying this, okay, I'm going to try and it's too hard. Oh my God, that's going to be hard. Then you cannot surpass what you're saying. You cannot surpass your own understanding, right?
Right. So
I always say, get away from that. Let me get on God's understanding and see what happens in my life. And things change.
Okay, well, really while Darrell got a chance to get his branding shout out there, he got that way to go, get that branding shout out.
Oh, that's business. Learn that from Ferg.
He got that notifications out there.
I'm gonna have to get you on our podcast too, because we got a Christian podcast. So
yeah, I would love to come on there, man.
I'll hit you up.
I would love to do that. I just got ordained.
All right, okay. Good.
About 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, about 2 months ago, I was elevated to an elder. Yeah, we definitely gonna get you on.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
2 months ago, they kicked me out the church for making a bunch of noise. No,
you good in the church, man. You bring comedy to the church.
Yeah.
They kicked me and my cousins out the church. But anyhow, what do you have? What can we? I know Darrell just said that you're coming up with some more things. What can we look forward to seeing you with?
Well, I got a couple movies that I'm getting ready to work on.
Okay. I'll
start shooting a movie in June. It's a little bit of a Taebo story along with an action guy. You put a little bit of truth in there, a little bit of fiction in there to make it energized. I'm gonna shoot that in June. And then I'm also going to be shooting a TV show. And also they're thinking about, the Karate Kid show.
Right.
They're thinking about some little things there too. Then I got some new workouts coming out pretty soon. I got some new workouts coming out. I've created this workout. Everybody uses a string of sticks.
Right. The screamer. Right.
So what I did was take it and I put it to music.
Okay.
Just like Taebo.
Yeah.
So I put together a workout called Dozendo. And it's a workout that you take the string of sticks and you put it to an 8 count to the beat. A funky beat, and you move it, you're doing the sticks.
Right.
You can do it aromatic, do it to the air, or you can do it to the bag. I'll send you guys a video and let you see what the video looks like. It's gonna be an awesome workout, man. It's good for women, because women need to know how to protect themselves, and you can always find a stick on the ground somewhere when you're walking. So I just show the women how using 2 sticks can help you get your upper body together, your core together, how it starts to slim down your arms, how it works your stomach. It's an awesome workout. It's a fun workout, and I'm opening that up. It's going to be 2 weeks. It'll be my first debut of introducing it to the world.
Fantastic. Hey, are we gonna, man? I want to see you in the Cobra Kai series. I saw that you got a Cobra Kai connection.
Yeah.
Well, they did stuff. They thinking about me doing, Cobra Kai Bo.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I did a video for them. I don't know if you guys seen that.
I saw it.
Well, I did the workout, so now they're thinking about, well, maybe we can get Billy Blanks in there doing something. You know, they didn't really tell my managers yet
Right.
what they want, but they thinking about something. So,
man, I would love to see you in that part of that Cobra Kai franchise, man. That would be
it would be a
so
blessing.
cool.
It would be a blessing to be in there.
Hey, Bill, let me ask this, because you know we got somebody in the family who does movies. You know, Keith Collins, the second, and,
sure.
And that whole process of when you coming from competition to getting an agent and getting into the movies, how did you do that? What can you say to inspiring movie producers and film developers and stunt people? What would you say to get started? How did you get an agent? How did you go through that?
Well, I always tell people, I think I got started by I met some stunt coordinators, and they said, "Hey, you Billy Blanks, the karate guy." I said, "Yeah." You know, they said, "Can we have you come on the set of Tango and Cash?" And you know, that's one you got a chance to get in some of the big movies.
Mm-hmm.
I got a chance to go on Tango and Cash, and he said, "I want to introduce you to Sylvester Stallone." So I got a chance to meet him, and when I got a chance to meet him, he saw that I had a humble attitude, and he said, "I want you to hire this guy." So he gave me a job being a stuntman, you know, in the movie Tango and Cash. It wasn't nothing. All I did was I was a prisoner, right? All I did was stand by a prisoner cell, but he gave me 12 weeks of work. And when I got that 12 weeks of work, it gave me my SAG card. And then it was what went around Hollywood was, hey, Billy Blanks is pretty good on the set. He's a nice guy. He'll do whatever you ask him to do, you know. And when the stunt coordinators start talking to you about you like that, and then the next thing you know, you start getting phone calls. People start calling you. So I always tell people, you know what? The thing that you want to do, if you want to be a character actor or whatever kind of actor that you want to be, especially if you're a martial artist, get some nice pictures, and then also get like a little videotape that you got some stuff spliced together so they can see you in action. And then you get it to, if I was a fighter or a martial artist, I would get it to some stunt guys. You know, you send it out to Hollywood, look in the you can look in the Hollywood magazines and tell you where to sit and stuff like that. And then you stay on them. Say, hey, my name is Dr. I'm going to be out in California one day and I come by and see you. And people will let you do that. You know, I just think the most important thing is in this business, I just think being humble and letting people get, because, you know, martial art people, you know, sometimes can be like, yeah, I'm the karate guy, look at me.
Right.
You know? And I think sometimes people, especially out here in California, they'll write you off, you know. But if you're coming, hey, I'm Billy Blanks, I was told that I should come see you and ask you about how can I get involved with doing stunts, and that's how I got involved with just doing stunts. And then I was a bodyguard. Became a bodyguard of Captain Bach. And while I was in the Philippines, Don the Dragon Wilson,
Don the Dragon,
yeah,
that was actually my first film. He found out that I was over there, so he said, hey, you know, Billy Blanks is over here. Let's try to get him in the film. So they got me a small part in that movie. And then I came home and I ended up doing King of Kickboxer. And then after doing King of Kickboxer, I did Tango and Cash. And then I did a movie with Morgan Freeman, Kiss the Girls.
Yeah.
I don't know, you know Last Boy Scout. Y'all see Last Boy Scout?
Oh man, that's what we was like. I went to the movie because I knew you was in it.
Yeah, man. You know when
I went to the movies because Hallie was in it. But go ahead.
And you know when I did that movie, they had like almost 175 professional football players go out for that part.
Really?
And Tony Scott, you know, you just never know. You know, you might be in the right place. You know, it's being in the right place at the right time. Mm-hmm. Tony Scott had me come in, and he said, because he saw me, you know, karate people, they do stuff like that. He saw that, and he said, hey, come in my office. I want to see you do some of your karate moves. Now, this is my karate moves. And so he says, okay, I want to take some water, and I'm going to put it in your eyes. So they pour water in my eyes, and then he wanted me to act like I was high. Right. And so, you know, I'll start walking around the room, you know, you put your eyes out and you doing that kind of stuff. And he went, okay, thank you. See you later. As soon as I got in my car, got about halfway home, they called me and told me I had the part. You know, O.J. Simpson, we talking about all these top football players went out for that part and they gave it to me. I was like, oh, this is pretty, and it was pretty, you know, a big part.
Yeah.
But that right there, you know, I mean, you just never know. You really just never know. You just got to be prepared. So I always tell people, you know, to get into the business, if you're a producer, like myself, I make little movies myself with my cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
Like for this song, especially the Pro Max 12.
Right.
I take this, man, and I'm doing all kinds of stuff. I create videos in my living room here because of the COVID. So I've taken videos and I've done my own videos here.
I've seen them on Instagram.
So, and I say, you know, you can do stuff like that, and sometimes people see it and they go, "Oh, let me get in contact with that person." That's how I got the Geico commercial, is from them seeing my Instagram, and then people knew who I was through Taebo. But I always tell people that's what you got to do, is to set yourself up where people can see that you really want to do what you say you want to do. And
Right.
I always tell people, don't walk into a place saying, "Hey, I've been trying to get this off the ground." I would never walk into a place. I would say, "Hey, I got something I want to do. I come to you because you're supposed to be a person who does these kind of things. But if I don't get you to do it, then I'm going to go to somebody else and see what happens, you know." But you can't go in there, "Hey, I've been trying to do this for 10 years and never, you know, you keep trying."
Hey man, it's a fantastic story, man. To see you to go from when we first met you when we were kids, coming out of Erie, and to seeing you in LA and Hollywood making it big. I do want to say, because Darrell brought it up, my nephew, godson, Keith Collins II, we're going to be working on a documentary on Ken Ferguson and his students. So we're gonna need you for that. But
I'd love to do that, man. You just let me know.
Okay, for sure. Darrell, you made me laugh for a second, because when Billy was saying he was bodyguarding for somebody, we remember when he came to Columbus to the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic, he had one of our old karate buddies, Charles Pennington, Chino,
right,
one of Cook's students, was his bodyguard. And we trying to go and talk to Billy, and Chino was like, "Get back."
Blocking.
He's blocking. We're like, oh, you like that now, huh, Chino?
It was on the brown belt team with you.
Right. He was on the brown belt team when y'all beat us up. But I'm like, oh, so you getting that Billy Blanks check now? Now you moving us out the way. Is that how you doing us now?
Yeah, man, I'm serious. I just think that, coming from where I came from, I just thank God, because it's just staying humble, always staying humble, and understanding that you can always be moved out, right?
Mm-hmm.
As long as you stay humble to your craft and understand people, how to deal with people, then you'll be all right. I mean, that's what I've learned. I'm 65, right? And I just feel like being at age 65, I understand people. I've been around the world ever since I was 16 years old, So going around the world and seeing things happen and wanting to make a change in my life and my family's life and other people's lives around me is a blessing.
Right.
I can say,
go ahead, Darrell.
I can say this, that you, naturally, Ken Ferguson and some of the other martial artists was a cog in the path for Kevin, Gino, Melvin, Keith, myself, and a number of other competitors from our school had success. And we all, what was fascinated is Kenny was voted in the United States Karate Federation Hall of Fame, and 5 of his students wasn't voted in.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And each one of you guys have a part in that.
Sure.
From us coming up.
I just think that's so awesome too, because see, I don't know how much you guys read the Bible, but say you know by the fruits.
Right.
And look, that guy had super students. He had super students. Just as well as God blessed me with good students. Yeah, every one of his students were good. I mean, he's known by his fruit, right? You can't. What else can you say about him? You can't.
Yeah. I'm glad you said it, because people don't believe that. When you say that, I was like,
no, but I've been on the team with you guys, and I travel with you guys.
Yeah.
I travel with Ken, and I know who his instructor is.
Right.
But Ken even I gotta say this, because of the martial artists. Even when he didn't have an instructor, he still worked hard.
Yeah.
And took himself up the ladder, man. Doing his best to be a good teacher, a good student to martial arts. And I think a lot of people don't realize that, because sometimes you like me, I had an instructor, but also I didn't have an instructor for a while.
Yeah.
And I just kept working. And eventually got somebody I wanted to be around, and then I bloomed from that. But that's what I say about Ken. Ken did a lot by himself.
Yeah. And I just wanted to say that and to thank you on a number of levels, particularly for when I contacted you, you got back to me, and we had planned to be online and present Kenny with his Grandmaster belt, but he had transitioned before then, and I didn't want to leave that message for you like that. But also to say thank you for all that you've done and what you're doing, and to let you know that Kenny did go the Romans road. He went to Romans 10:9-10 and accepted Christ. So we know where he is.
Well, that's a blessing, man.
And I want to thank you for doing that. For Kevin agreed to this for all his students and the Lee Harvard community that he was a pillar in. We thank you for doing that.
That's so awesome, man. That I always worry about that with people. Sometimes, especially your closest friends, right? You always worry if they've done that, right? Yeah. And I try to get a hold of Ken, but I couldn't get no. Remember I told you?
Yeah.
I couldn't get anybody to call back, and I didn't know what was going on. But I tried to get a hold of him. I wrote him several times, on Facebook, and you say you don't go on Facebook. I did all kinds of stuff, right? Yeah. and I didn't, at the time, I didn't know he was sick either. I just wanted to talk to him, because he was somebody I came up with in martial arts, and we hung out together, man. It was, it's like a brother. You know what I mean?
He would have really enjoyed it, but you always had your thoughts in his heart, because he always talked about you to us, and you started the whole thing off when you handed him that black belt, and you don't know, man, that that changed our lives.
It did.
So it did. And the people that he taught and who we taught, and the multitudes of students that came after us. And Darrell, we're glad to sit here and talk to Billy, because these are the people that we watched, our idols, when we were coming up. They were the people that we looked up to. I'll say that.
Right.
Yeah. And you guys are who we have. We just lost another martial artist, Nikia Yamashita.
Yeah.
Known also as Ron Burgess, was somebody who we got a chance to watch in amazement. Especially those katas, because the speech before the kata was almost as good as the kata.
Man, that dude was he was amazing though. It was like
a rough, tough dude, man. But
he reminded me of a Japanese. I lived in Japan. For a long time, right? I lived there for a long time, and I got a chance to be around Japanese teachers and instructors. He just reminded me of being. He was Japanese. He walk out there, my name, Yamashita. I think that's what. To me, I think that's what. Kevin Thompson.
Kevin Thompson.
Yeah, you know who he is.
Yeah,
he used to be one of. Kevin Thompson. K.A. You know who K.A. is?
Little K.A. From New York.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Little Kareem Allah. Yeah.
That's where I think he got that from.
He may have.
Yeah.
You remember he come out, he goes, "Judges, my name, Kevin Thompson, known as the one other word."
Yeah.
And Yamashita used to do the flip in the kata.
Yeah, he would do the flip. Yamashita had the whole. I learned this kata way back when from the old wise man. I'm like, man. I'm like, that was almost as good as the kata.
Yeah, man,
I used to love watching that dude do that kata. I used to like watching him just walk out and do his speech.
Yeah.
Hey, and Billy, he had the coldest belt. That belt looked like it was. I don't even know how he tied it. It was
like that belt, though, man.
It was in shreds. That it was so old of a black belt.
Yeah,
I'm like, man. No, Yamashita, man. I got a chance to fight Yamashita at the regionals. The regionals.
Melvin got to tell that story.
To go to the United States team trials. I had to fight Yamashita, and it was a. I won, but I respectfully won.
Did he try to hurt you?
He tried.
Come on, tell it.
Hey, the guy who he fought before me was another one of our students, but a younger student.
Right.
And Yamashita was putting it on him.
Ooh.
This boy was crying. He was tough, but he was crying.
What was Clifford, 15, 16 then?
Yeah, he was like 16 years old.
Man, that dude.
And Yamashita. Like, so I had to fight Yamashita next. And Mel was like, man, you can't let him do Clifford like that. I'm like, man, but that's Yamashita.
Yeah.
So, you know, I fought him and
broke his collarbone.
I didn't break his collarbone on purpose.
I didn't say purpose. I said you broke his collarbone.
I went high, he went low. I hit him in the collarbone and it broke, and they took him away in the ambulance. And one of our other black belt friends, Sal, was running behind the ambulance apologizing. I'm sorry, Yamashita.
Yamashita was tough.
Tough, man. Tough as nails.
He was.
Tough as nails.
I fought him. He tried to hit me with a reverse punch, and I moved out of the way. I felt the whistle. Serious.
Hey,
he
man.
was like, boy, if he hit me, he would have put a hole through me.
That's a hard, tough dude, man.
Yeah, and he
well,
wasn't
Billy,
that big.
Billy, we could keep you and talk martial arts all day, but I know that I was told that we couldn't keep you that long. So I don't want to get you in trouble, bro. But hey,
no, man, anytime you guys want me to come on the show, let me know. I would love to come on the show.
Okay, well, Darrell have you on his show, then you can come back on my show again.
Yeah,
and
if you guys want me to come back and talk about fitness, I'll be more than happy. Whatever you guys want, just let me know.
We'd love to have you. Love to have you. So again, man, if you want to say anything on the way out about Ken Ferguson, because this is to be a continuing part of his legacy, please go ahead and do so.
Yeah, I just want to shout out to everybody out there who worked out with Ken Ferguson. I just want to say, you guys had the opportunity to work out with an awesome instructor. I believe now he's looking down from heaven as an angel, looking down upon everybody, saying, keep up the good work, don't quit, don't get discouraged, put on the power. Anytime you see yourself getting ready to go backwards, start looking forward, because you can always go backwards. The goal is to stay forward and go forward. I know, again, as he said, I wish I could have got a chance to talk to him before he left here, but I know he's in a place a better place than what we are right now, looking down upon us. So guys, just look up and just know when you get in your hard times, your hardest times, just look up there and know that Mr. Ferguson is looking down and telling you, hey, you know what you need to do. And
that's what he used to tell us.
He always says stuff like that. You know what you need to do. Turn it around and go forward and say your best, but be God's best.
All
that's
right.
what's going to take you where you need to be.
I appreciate you, brother. Darrell, always thank you for joining me. Everybody that watched the show, please share the show. We can continue to see this over and over and over, and just get this message of this dynamic brother and the words that we already knew of him, but it was good to share him with my audience.
And let me say this last thing. Hey, man, I got 15 brothers and sisters, right? And they all know Ken Ferguson.
Oh.
They all know him. And all my students know him. My sister and then Irene, my sister, you know Ken, right? She know him, like, because he came to my hometown, right? And he's like a family to us, man.
All right, we appreciate it. Bill, and you
keep up the good work. Love y'all. Y'all stay blessed, man.
All right, bro. You family to us too, man.
Stay away from that stress. Stay healthy. Stay healthy.
All right, we'll be talking back with you. We appreciate you, and we up out of here. Thank you, and we'll see you guys on the next show, Billy.
All right, brother.